Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the weeks of March 16th through the 29th. Today is Saturday, March 29th. So, it's been another couple weeks. The temperatures are going crazy here. We had a 90 degree, or almost 90, it was 89 degree day earlier this week, and it's now 62 degrees. So, yeah, just can't make up its mind. I will tell you I was very miserable that day that it was 90, almost 90 degrees. I am not a summer temperature lover. But anyway, I did get some reading done, so I'd like to share my thoughts with you on what I finished during the last couple weeks. I am in the middle of one book, so we'll talk about that. The Orilium Magical Readathon is coming up in April, so I have put together my TBR, or most of my TBR for that, so I'll share with you what I'm planning to read for that. Do have a Yarnie update for you. I've been working on a couple of projects over the last couple weeks. And then we'll go into some what I've been watching at the end of this episode. So let's get into it. So on the last episode, I told you that I had already started reading for the Monochrome Manga Club meeting and that I had finished something already, but I wasn't going to talk to you about it because it was going to be in the first impressions video that I had filmed. That first impressions video went up on Monday the 24th. So if you haven't watched it already and would like to know my thoughts on the two first in a series selections, well, I would say one first in a series selection and a full series that we had read because it was a 3-volume bind up. You can check out the video, which is linked down in the description box below. But that video will encompass Wolf Children, which I don't have a copy because I didn't think it was going to be one that I was going to enjoy. So I ended up borrowing a copy of that one from my library. So I don't know right off the top of my head who it's by. So the full title is actually Wolf Children, Ame and Yuki. This is original story by Mamoru Hosada, art by Yu, and character design by Yoshiki Sadamoto. This one is published by Yen Press, rated teen, and I ended up giving that one 3 stars. I knew when it was suggested and that the members were favorable to reading it that I was not going to be the audience for this type of book. And so, yeah, it was an okay read. I had a lot of issues with it. But go check out my video, like I said, if you like to hear my thoughts on that. And then I also talked about in that video, Volume 1 of Dead Company by Yoshiki Tonogai. This one's published by Tokyo Pop, rated older teen. This one is definitely more my style. This was my kind of pick for March Mystery Madness. It is a horror. There's lots of gore in it. There's an allusion to eye gouging in it. Like, you don't actually see the eye gouging happen, but you know that it has happened. If you know what I mean. I really enjoyed this volume. I believe there's only 2 other volumes in this series, so I'm really hoping that I'll be able to get to it before the month is over, but we'll just have to see. Ended up giving this one 4 stars. And then the volumes that I will be talking to you about here, my thoughts on Haikyu volumes 13, 14, and 15. These are about a boys' high school volleyball team, as you know. This is my second read-through of the series. I'm really enjoying rereading this series. And we're in like the inter-high tournament here, so we're getting a lot of gameplay. It's really, really interesting, really enjoyable. You know I love this series. 5 stars each volume. And then we are also reading through Tokyo Revengers for the club. These are volumes 11 and 12. I really enjoyed this volume as well. It's about a guy who, when he's in his like mid-20s, finds out that his middle school girlfriend was murdered by a gang he used to know when he was that age. And so he gets the chance to go back in time and try to prevent that from happening in the future. And it's a really interesting story. I'm enjoying seeing like all of the changes that are happening within the story. And things are never quite as it seems. There's always something like a twist or something that makes the story really interesting. This volume, no exception to that. really interesting things happened in here. Lots of fighting in these 2 volumes, though. That's probably my, least favorite part about this series. Because we're dealing with gangs, there are a lot of gang fights. They're going up not only internally with each other, but against other gangs. And so the characters get beat up pretty badly. And at this point of this series, I do feel connected to several of the characters. And when you see them getting beat up, it hurts a bit, right? But still, really enjoyable. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next volume. And so, yes. Plus, this one had color pages that really caught my eye. There's this one without spoilers. It's just a bunch of the members that we're following, and so this is kind of like the first or second time that I've kind of seen them with the colors. So some of these hair colors I didn't really expect, like blue here and things like that. So really, really interesting. I'm enjoying it a lot. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. So that's everything that we read for the manga club. And then I did finish 2 novels over the last couple weeks. I finished Lost Hills, which is the first book in the Eve Ronin series by Lee Goldberg. This series follows a female detective in the homicide unit. She is the youngest, I think they refer to her as female detective in the precinct. Or is it the youngest in the precinct and the only female? That might be it. But in any case, she kind of got famous by something that had happened that had gone viral on social media. And so lots of the people in the department don't look fondly on her because she kind of got to where she is because of that fame. But in any case, we're following her and her partner, and they are investigating a house, which is a very, very bloody crime scene, but there are no bodies. And so they're trying to figure out what happened to the family that lived there. I really enjoyed this one. I actually listened to a good majority of it. I would say I read the last chapter or so physically, but I listened to a majority of it on audio. Really enjoyed the narration. I enjoyed the story overall. It was a really, really good mystery, and I was really invested in what was going on with the investigation. And so I really, really enjoyed this one. So I had ended up reading this one in memory of Scott from the Bookish Bryants. He had read this one during one round of March Mystery Madness, and he said he really enjoyed it. I had ended up with a copy in my Kindle library. I don't think I bought it. I think it was free. And I'm really glad that I finally got to it because I really enjoyed it. And I actually borrowed whatever else is from that series is out right now that my library had. So I think I have 4 more installments to read. It was a really quick read. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to continuing with that one. So I ended up giving Lost Hills 4 stars. And then this morning, I just finished Along Came a Spider, which is the first book in the Alex Cross series by James Patterson. So this book is about a guy who is investigating the kidnapping of 2 children. One of the children's parents is the governor, I think. And they were both taken from school. And so we follow Alex trying to figure out what happens or what had happened to these kids. And I really enjoyed this investigation as well. I did start reading the series because I had recently started watching Cross, which is the Amazon adaptation of the series. Now, the TV show says it's based on characters from the series, and you can tell right off the bat just from the beginning of the book that the show does not follow the books. At least it doesn't follow anything that happens in the first book, and I think I've watched 3 episodes. So I really enjoyed the book. It was very, very interesting, kept my interest throughout. I started listening to this one on audiobook as narrated by Taye Diggs. And I really, really enjoyed his narration. His voice has got a really calming quality to it. And it's very unfortunate that I don't think he's narrated any of the other books in the series. But this narration was very good. Really enjoyed it. The only reason I switched from the audiobook to physical was because I only listened to audiobooks during my work lunch break. And because I was off, I wanted to continue to read the book because things had started picking up. I was at a place where there was a lot of things going on and things were being uncovered in the investigation that I just wanted to make sure that I got through the rest of the story quickly, because I was really, really enjoying what was going on and very interested in what was happening. And so, yeah, I finished that one this morning. Really enjoyed it. I would say I enjoyed the book much more than I enjoyed what I've watched of the TV show. I'll definitely be continuing with the books, but I don't think I'm going to continue with the TV show. I'm not sure. I'm not like closing it off. I actually really enjoy the actor that they picked to play Cross. I've seen him in Leverage, and I really enjoy him there. There's just something about the case that's going on in Cross at the beginning that I'm just not really into. And so, yeah, really enjoyed the book. It's been one that has been on my TBR for a while, actually. And so another one that has kind of been languishing there. I'm sure I have a copy of this somewhere, but it's probably a hardback, which is why it's not on my shelves. And so, yeah, I don't like to read hardbacks if I can avoid it. But I'm sure I have bought books in this series a while back when we were doing lots of like library visits and buying from the like Friends of Library bookstores at our library. But I didn't seem to have a copy on my shelves, and my Goodreads doesn't say that I actually own it. And so, yeah, really enjoyed it. Will be continuing. Gave this one 4 stars. Too bad that Taye Diggs is not narrating any of the rest of the books, but I'll be interested to see what I think of the narrator that does the next one. But really, really interesting. Glad I finally got to it. I seem to be only starting new series during March Mystery Madness, but that's okay. I've gotten a lot of the series that I started from my TBR list on Goodreads that have just been there forever. So I'm finally getting to them. Really, really happy with what I've been reading. And so, yeah, I would say it's been a successful March Mystery Madness so far. Now, as far as what I'm currently reading, I am in the middle of one book, and I'm trying to finish this off before the end of the month, again, for March Mystery Madness. And this is The Surgeon by Tess Gerritsen. This is the first book in the Rizzoli Isles series. So again, keeping with my TV show thing. And I forgot to mention with Lost Hills, that also kind of ties in with my TV show thing, because some of the people that they interview work in the film and TV industry, and so they drop a lot of like current TV shows of the time, like Grey's Anatomy was one of them, and so it kind of ties in there. And so, yeah, this one, obviously, the inspiration for the Rizzoli Isles TV show. I've watched Rizzoli Isles, really, really enjoyed it. And so, thought I should check out the books. Now, I am reading this one in memory of Janelle from Too Fond of Books, who we lost a couple years ago. And she had read this one. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to check this one out as well. Again, another one that's been on my TBR forever. This one is about Jane Rizzoli, who is another female detective who gets flack in the office because she's female, and lots of the males don't care to have her around. And she reads very much like how she is in the TV show. So if you've ever watched the Rizzoli Isles TV show, I will say that Jane in the book reads very much like the character in the TV show, which I appreciated. So in this one, they are looking for a serial killer who is very vicious. I will say that the murder the crime scenes and the states of the body. It's very descriptive of what happens to the body. And so if you're very squeamish about that type of thing, this kind of series is probably not for you. But very, very interesting case going on. I had thought early on that with the title of the book that I really hoped that the culprit was not going to be very obvious. I haven't finished it yet. I've got this much left. I think I'm going to be able to finish it before. But things are really picking up in the investigation right now. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this all ends up. I will tell you, I was a little bit scared to read this one because I had read Deja Dead. I think that's the first book in the Temperance Brennan series. Was it last year or the year before? And Bones is another TV show that I really enjoyed. But the books, the character in the book is nothing like the character in the TV show. Whereas here, the character in the book is very much like the character in the TV show. And so with the Bones series, I much preferred the TV show to the character that I had read. In this one, it feels the same. I can see the characters' names that I recognize from the TV show. There are a couple differences with the characters, like Jane's brother is not a cop. But Barry Frost is in here, and I can see the actor that plays Barry Frost as the character Barry Frost in the book. Just feels very familiar. Really, really enjoying this, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this case all wraps up. And I think this is going to be one of my last reads for March Mystery Madness. Like I said, I want to hopefully continue and finish this series before the month is over. And so we'll see if that's able to happen. But I'm definitely going to work on this, because this will take me much longer than the 2 volumes of this. So, yes, looking forward to finishing that out. And so, yeah, I think so far it's been a pretty good reading month for me. Started off a little, I wouldn't say bad, because 3 stars is still a good rating. Just not as spectacular as I had hoped that it was going to be. But I think where I am right now, I'm feeling really good about my reads. And so I'm looking forward to, like I said, finishing that book, hopefully getting one more manga series done before the month is over. And yeah, really, really enjoyed March Mystery Madness this year. So with that, that is everything that I've read. That's everything that I'm currently reading. So in April, we are going back to the Orilium Academy. This is one of the few readathons that I plan to participate in this year. And I will be continuing my studies in Masters of Elements. This is the only profession or degree that I have studied the entire time that we've been doing Orilium Magical Readathon. And so, yes, I have my list of prompts. And so I've picked out a few things. I have most of the prompts filled. There are 1 or 2 in here that I'm not quite sure about, but let's get into it. So this semester, I'm going to be studying 6 classes. The first class is Elemental Studies, and for that, we're studying Earth Fruits. And so the prompt is to read something with fruit on the cover. And so I decided to roll this one over from March Mystery Madness's pile of possibilities, and that is Snow White Red-Handed, the first book in the Fairy Tale Fatal Mystery series by Maya Chance. There is a green apple here on the cover. So this is a cozy mystery. I believe there are only 3 books in this series. So it says, Miss Ophelia Flax is a Victorian actress who knows all about making quick changes and even quicker exits. But to solve a fairy tale crime in the haunted Black Forest, she'll need more than a bit of charm. So I've been meaning to read this one for a while. And so again, wanted to get into this one. And like I said, it's only 3, I think, volumes. And so there really is no reason why I have to put this one off anymore. And so I'm going to be reading this one, or I'm going to be striving to read this one for fruit on the cover. I did look through my entire TBR list on Goodreads 4 fruit on the cover, and I will say that a lot of the fruits that are on the covers that I have on my TBR are apples. There are a couple of cherries, but almost all of the fruit were apples. And so I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, this one has an apple, so this is what I'm probably going to read for elemental studies. The next class I'm taking is shape-shifting, and in this we are studying miniature dragons. And so the prompt for this one is to read something with a dragon in the title, cover, or story. For right now, I have picked up Volume 1 of Dragon Goes House Hunting. This is a story by Kao Tanuki and art by Choco Aya. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So it says, Home Sweet Home. Letty is not very good at being a dragon. Actually, he's so terrible at it that his dad went and kicked him out of the house. What's a skittish monster of myth to do in a world where everyone sees him as material for their next suit of armor? Why, find a place to call home, of course, with the help of a slightly evil elfish architect. Letty's quest for the ultimate draconic domicile begins. So I've actually had this volume on my shelf for a really long time too. I think I have 2 or 3 volumes of it. So dragon on the cover and in the title, and the story is about a dragon. And so I thought this would be fitting. I did think of another book that I could read during the month, because I don't think this entire TBR is going to take me the entire month. And I'm going to need some audiobooks because, you know, I like to listen to audiobooks during my lunch break. And so I thought about it this morning, and the Talon Saga by Julie Kagawa. I had read the first book in that series a while ago, and I think I read the second one a few years ago. So this would mean that the third one would be the next one for me to read, and I think there's 4 books in that series. So this book series is about dragon shifters, and you can see that on the cover, all the covers kind of look like the dragon scales, or they're like armor. And so I think that might be something that I consider picking up on audiobook during the month. So that's also another possibility for this class. So yeah, really, really interesting things happened in this series. And I don't really know why I never completed that one yet. But I had enjoyed what I had listened to and read. And so yeah, I should probably go ahead and continue with that one. Especially because there's another Julie Kagawa series. Actually, another couple Julie Kagawa series that I would really like to read. And so I should probably finish off that one before I start any others. So those would be my selections for shape-shifting class. Then we're going to do animal studies. And in this one, we're going to study raccoons. It says raccoon studies. So this is still a book from another TBR. So I haven't actually watched any TBRs yet. They're just starting to come out right now, I think. And so I'll watch somebody's TBR at some time and steal something from their TBR at that time. The next class is astronomy. For that, we're studying lightfall, and for that prompt, it was to pick a color wheel. And so I did the color wheel, got the color lime, and I have 2 possible selections for this one. So the first thing that I thought I might want to read was volume 1 of The Guy She Was Interested In Wasn't a Guy at All. So very limey. This one is by Sumiko Arai, published by Yen Press, rated teen. So it says, fashionable and upbeat high schooler Aya loves listening to rock, but no one else seems to share her interest until she meets a cool, stylish employee at a CD shop. Dressed in black from head to toe, he has the air of mystery about him, and his taste in music is impeccable. Aya falls hard for him, not knowing her crush is actually her female classmate, Mitsuki. For her part, Mitsuki generally keeps to herself and avoids standing out at school. But given that she sits right next to Aya, Mitsuki's all too aware of the other girl's feelings, and she's afraid to reveal the truth. So why does she find herself talking with Aya more and more? So this is a newer release, and I'm really looking forward to checking this one out, and very lime. And so that's why I picked that one. Daughter also picked this one up for me from our shelves. Now this one is more of a like rotten lime. Still, I would say it's like more lime than like light green. But this is Yokohama Station SF by Yuba Isukari and Tatsuyuki Tanaka. This is a light novel. And you can see that there are illustrations inside here. So the back of this says, go to exit 42, you'll find the answers to everything there. This is published by Yan On, rated ages 13 and up, which is teen. It says, a world inside all Hiroto has ever known is life on a tiny coastal speck of Japan. Much of the country has been swallowed by Yokohama Station, a mysterious, ever-growing series of buildings that's been around for as long as anyone can remember. The few who live outside its many entrances have never seen inside and know only rumors and legends of the station's interior. That all changes when Hiroto is given an I-8 ticket, a mysterious item that lets him enter the massive complex for 5 days. The young man has always sought a purpose, but the one he finds may not be the sort he'd hoped for. So I thought it sounded really interesting, a little bit mysterious. There is this like fold out art inside. And so, yeah. I do consider this color still like lime, but it is definitely something that I would like to read at some point. So you may see me pick this one up during the month as well. So that would be for astronomy for my color wheel prompt. Then I will be studying conjuration, and this year we are studying locational summons. And so for this one, it was a random country generator, and you were supposed to do the random country generator 5 times and then choose one of the countries that you got as the country of where the author was from, I think. And so of the 5 countries I got, I decided on Denmark. And so I actually only have one book on my TBR that's from an author that's from Denmark, and that is The Chestnut Man. And I don't know anything about this book. I know it is like a mystery or like a suspense. It's like in that kind of genre, and so it's kind of one of those ones that I don't really want to know anything about, but I think it's like a serial killer type mystery book. I'm sure I probably heard about it from somebody's YouTube video, but yes, it is like serial killer type mystery, I believe, and the author is from Denmark. The author's name is Soren Sveistrup. I think that's how you pronounce it, but if it's not, I apologize. But yes, it actually is like intriguing to me. I've kind of been like curious to pick it up, so maybe that'll be my next read and still continue on with like the March Mystery Madness kind of vibes. And so that's what I'm going to be reading for that. Funnily enough, while I was going through my TBR, I found out that I have a lot of Swedish authors that I am interested in reading from, but just the one from Denmark. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to be reading for the Conjuration class, and then I've got one more class, which is the Restoration class. And for that one, we're going to be studying Uncommon Antidotes. So the prompt for this one is to read a 4+ star average rating, a book with a 4+ star average rating. And so I'm going to read Tokyo Revengers, volumes 13 and 14 by Ken Wakui, published by 7 Seas, rated older teen. And so we are reading this for the Monochrome Manga Club, and this has a 4+ star average rating. And so really looking forward to continuing with that. And so that's what I'm planning to read for the Orilium Magical Readathon. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about reading, what I've been reading, what I'm planning to read, what I'm currently reading. And so I think it's now time for another Yarnie update. Okay, let's start off with daughter's sock and the Competo bag. So these are her Christmas 2024 socks. So just a reminder, this is what the sock will look like. So I have finished the first sock, 2x2 rib, 56 stitches, about 45 rows in the leg. We've got Kay Jones's butterfly heel, and then however long for the foot, and then my lightning toe. So when I talked to you last, I was where I needed to put in the toe, or the heel, and so I have done that. I'm in a not too good place to show you that right now, but I did put in the heel. So this is where I was the last time. This is the start of the heel. So I did pretty much just the heel and a couple of rows. So now this is perfect for meeting knitting. And so, yeah, it is not identical. It's close, but it's not quite, which is fine. And so, yeah. Working away on that. Again, we are doing this one with Opal Joy yarn in the colorway Lebensfreude, which I believe means zest for life. Really enjoying the Opal Joy yarn, and looking forward to hopefully having these socks done relatively soon. And now the project that I have probably worked the most on since I've talked to you last is in the Dory towel bag from Disneyland. Or the towel is from Disneyland. Mom made the bag. And inside this is my mom's Duchess of Devonshire shawl. So I am working this out of a mini skein collection from Seismic Yarn. Here is the packaging. This is the Pretty Pretty Princess Speckle Rainbow Mini Skein Collection in their Butterstock base, which is 85% extra fine merino and 15% nylon, 87 yards, 20 grams, and there were 6 skeins inside. And so I'm using that, and I am also using Knit Picks Stroll in just a white color, and this is 75% fine superwash merino and 25% nylon. And so the Duchess of Devonshire shawl is a pattern by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears podcast, and so this is where I'm at right now. So I have finished the body of the shawl, and it's very, very colorful. So you can see I have Material Girl down here. I have Men at Work, which is the orange. The Mellow Yellow or something is the highlighter yellow. And then the green is Peridot. And the blue is Blue Monday, and you can see that over here I started changing things up a bit. So this is a 5 section garter shawl, and I have 6 colors. Plus, it gets wider and wider and wider as you go. And so I knew that I'd have to do some color switching up to get all of the colors in. And so, knowing how much I had left in the yellow, I decided that I was going to substitute in some blue here in the green section. I was going to continue the blue in the next section and then end up with the purple. So that is kind of what I did there. And so, yeah, now I am working on the applied border. So I just started this last night. And I've got 2 sections of applied border. And so I'm going to be doing one of these like V's all the way across the edge of this. So it's going to take a bit, but all of the easy part of the shawl is done now. Now this is lace. And I will tell you that while I was watching TV last night, it took me a very, very long time to get one of these pointer sections done. And so, yeah, it takes quite a bit of concentration from me. And the second one, I got lost a couple of different times. And yeah, so I know the apply border is going to take me a while, but that's okay. That's why I wanted to make sure that I started working on it early enough, so that this will be done for my mom for her birthday. And her birthday is on April 21st, and so the countdown is now on. So yes, on the apply border, I have to do it the length of the shawl, but I think this is really cute. It's nice, fun, and colorful. I am still not sure that my mom will actually wear this a bunch because it's very bright, but it's so fun. Really, really love the look of this. And so, yeah, I will tell you that I have very differing amounts of yarn left. The pink I obviously have a lot of because it was the very first section and I didn't use very much of that, but the orange section is much smaller than the pink, right? And then this is what I have left of the other colors. So I'm trying to think about what I want to do with the rest of these, because it's not enough to do like a heel, but it's also not enough to do like a full sock, I don't think. And even if it was, I think I'd only have enough to do one sock. So, yeah. If you've got any ideas, let me know. But I don't do a lot of scrappy projects, so I can't I suppose I could start, but I'm not really a scrappy project person. I've tried to do the kind of memory blankets and things like that, and I just fall off the wagon so hard because why would I be spending time putting in on a blanket that's going to take me forever to finish when I can be putting in time on a sweater that I'm actually going to be able to wear, whereas the blanket I'm probably not even going to use. And so yeah, I struggle with that a lot. But these colors are so fun. I want to do something with them for myself. So yeah, if you've got any ideas, let me know. I don't know exactly how much of these skeins I have. I actually have a scale here, so let me try to weigh them. Okay, so I have 16 grams of the pink, so that's enough to do heels and toes, I think. I have 10 grams of this, which I think is also enough to do at least a set of heels or toes, maybe both. But then, these smaller ones, like the yellow, I have 4 grams, which is not a lot. The green, I think I have also 4 grams. The blue, I have 5 grams. And the purple, I think I also have 4 grams. Yeah, I have 4 grams. So, yeah, not all that much in these colors. So, I'm not sure what to do with them. Maybe if I find colors that are solid, that are close, I could do a solid stripe and then a speckly. That way it'll extend, and then I can just do stripes on a pair of hand warmers or something. But yeah, if you've got any ideas that is not a blanket or a scarf, let me know, because I would really like to use the rest of this yarn for something for myself, because they're so fun. And so, yeah. So that's everything that I've worked on. Oh, did I even show you my progress on this? I did work on it quite a bit. So I was where the Brontosaurus was. So I worked the rest of this garter section, the eyelet section, the next garter section. and now the applied edging. And so, yeah, this was a pretty easy knit. Now it needs a little bit more concentration, but it's so fun. Like, it is really, really fun to look at. And, you know, maybe if I was thinking about it a little bit more, I would have done the rainbow in each garter section, but there would be kind of a weird count because I've got 6 colors, but it's not divisible by the number of garter rows. And so I'd have to use one color more than the other. And so I would have to fiddle around with that, but that would have been a fun look too. But yeah, I'm happy with this. It's really fun. And because it's like speckly, it's more on a muted side as opposed to like being like in your face, bright neon rainbow, right? But still really, really fun. And I think this is going to be really nice when I've finally got everything done. And so that's what I worked on this week, or that's kind of what I focused on. I will say that I've been itching to get back to a sweater project. And I think now that the socks are in a place where it's like just round and round and round, that might like help. But, you know, a sock is only so big. So we'll see. I've been kind of toying with maybe doing a D20 project selector every couple weeks when I sit down with you here. I know Yarn and Yarns, Ange from Yarn and Yarns, does a D20 every month to choose her prompts to figure out what she's going to work on for the month. I think Needles at the Ready was just talking about doing a D20 roll to figure out what project they're going to work on. And I know there's somebody else that I've watched recently that used a D20 to like figure out how to make the stripes in their sweater. And so in any case, I was thinking about maybe putting together a list of 20 of my ongoing whips and then rolling a D20 and seeing what I wanted to focus on. Because sometimes, you know, I get decision paralysis where I'm like, I know I want to knit, but I don't know what I want to knit on, and I don't necessarily want to continue to work on the project that I was working on before. And so then I end up just constantly thinking about, okay, what do I want to do? And then by the time I like realize it, the whole evening's passed and I haven't knit anything. And so I thought maybe I might start doing that. We'll see. This month has just been, you know, with me doing the March Mystery Madness and all of the changes that are going on at work and all the kind of uneasiness. And it's just, yeah. So I really, really have been enjoying like getting back into knitting more regularly. But I found myself over the last couple weeks not knitting as much as I would have liked, or as much as I probably would have if I wasn't constantly thinking, okay, what do I want to pick up now? And so, yeah, I've got a couple of things that I kind of really want to get back to. And I've got a couple sweaters that are in like a stockinette section, body section that I could work on. So I just need to like remember that I have those and, you know, make those like my go-to projects. But I think maybe if I put together a D20 list, it might also help with variety, because then I can be like, oh, this is the project that I need to work on over the next couple weeks. Kind of like what I do with my wax melting, where I choose something to work on for a couple weeks. I might start doing that with the knitting. So we'll see if that happens. I am having some vacation time in April, and so that'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully I'll get some crafting time in then. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to talk about as far as my Yarnie update goes. Now, as far as what I've been watching lately, we finished Murder in a Small Town. I really enjoyed it. I really want to read the books. We started Coroner, which I think is a remake of another like BBC show, but it's also based on books. And it follows a woman who makes a change of occupation, and now she's the coroner and she's investigating cases. I'm enjoying it so far. It's set in Canada, so that's a difference in the stuff that I've been watching lately, so that's really good. A change of scenery. I believe Murder in a Small Town might also be in Canada. So yeah, I've been really enjoying both of those shows. I think Murder in a Small Town got picked up for another season, so I'm really going to enjoy that when it comes back. But like I said, I want to read the books for that. I also want to read the books for the Coroner series. And then last night we watched Pacific Rim Uprising, which is the sequel to Pacific Rim. Really enjoyed that as well. And then we also watched Wicked, which was streaming on Peacock. I will tell you right off the bat that I am not the biggest Wizard of Oz enjoyer. I've never really gotten the hype for the Wizard of Oz. It's not been one of those stories that I've really enjoyed. Other than, there's a caveat to this, other than the Return to Oz movie that Fairuza Balk is in. I love that movie to death. It is a constant rewatch for me. I own it. I watch it over and over and over and over and over again. It's got some of the most memorable scenes from my childhood in there, and I absolutely love that movie. However, the Wizard of Oz movie with Judy Garland, I don't really care for it. And I've never really cared for any like Wizard of Oz like retelling type of movies. I will say that I did try to read Wicked when it was first starting to get really popular several years ago, and I couldn't get into the book. And so I've never also watched the Broadway show. I know a couple of the songs just because the soundtrack is really popular, and that's one of the tracks that I know. But yeah, so I didn't go into the movie with very high hopes, and it was just an okay movie for me. I know I'm in the minority for this, but I'm not really a big fan of The Wizard of Oz. And so, yeah, it was okay. I'll watch the next one. I enjoyed the music, but it wasn't like awe-inspiring or of a spectacular enjoyment level for me. It was okay. And I'll watch the next one. I will watch the next one. But I'm not inspired to try to read the book again. And I think I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is for me. And that's okay too. And so, yeah. I think that's pretty much all that I've been up to over the last couple of weeks. And so, yeah. Work is work. I think I've got a reprieve for having to go back into the office until June. Has to do with the rest of my team being from another office and them having to remodel the office that I normally go to in order to accommodate the extra employees. And so that's going to take time. And so I've got a bit of time before any like super huge like life changes for me as far as my occupation goes, I think. Still no word on whether or not I'm going to be able to keep my position, because there are changes with that as well. But so far it's just been business as usual, and it is what it is. So yeah. I already talked to you about the weather, and it just is what it is right now. It's not like anything like interesting or exciting. Nothing like that has happened, but I will say that I've been enjoying my reads lately. I've been enjoying the projects, or I think not necessarily the projects, but just like that feeling of productivity with my projects. I think I've been enjoying that, as well as seeing what I've accomplished, with my knitting. I've avoided casting on anything new, which is a good thing, but there have been a few things that have been kind of knocking at the door that I might consider. But so far right now, I'm happy with where I am. It's been a good couple of weeks. I think March Mystery Madness is going to end out on a great note for me. And yeah, looking forward to some vacation time in the next couple of weeks. And I think that's pretty much all I have to share with you today. So let me know down in the comments below what you've been reading, what you've been watching, what you've been working on. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me some kind of animal or a bunny, because Easter's coming up, right, next month. Or by the time you see this, it's actually going to be April, but yeah. If there's a bunny emoji or any kind of animal emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.